guys, so welcome back to another Ringo Starr review. This is for his newest EP, Crooked Boy, which has been out for about, I think, a week now at the time of recording this. Obviously the tracks were up and available on Spotify earlier than that, since I believe the vinyl version came out first. I think they added them on there. But I wanted to wait until it was properly released to touch it, because I am weird like that. I guess I'm a traditionalist. I don't know, but I wanted to wait. So I did. So here we are, and now all 4 music videos are also up on YouTube as well, which I also made a point of waiting on. The only one that I kind of did a sneak peek with was the very first video up, the one for February Sky, and I have to admit, don't put the horse before the cart when I say this. On that first one, I really wasn't into it, and I was like, oh boy, okay, so this is gonna go down just like all the other EPs did. Cool. Thanks. Hate it. But, well, that's harsh words. I can't say I hate the song, but I'm bored by it. It's just like the other ones where it sounds very samey to the other EPs we've gotten so far, where like 10 minutes after listening to it, I couldn't tell you a single thing I listened to off of it by name. And nothing stands out in my memory, nothing's an earworm, those are all very forgettable. This is, fortunately, another one of those. So I didn't go into this EP with high hopes, because I figured it was going to be more of the same with that shit. So I was like, alright, here we friggin' go, I guess, yet again. Let's go. But I mean, even the lyrics, they're just so dreary. Heard the sounds of devastation rumble through my REMs. It made its way into my veins. Hard to say what happens next. Gonna stand up, rise above the rain, start a revolution in these dark days. Find the missing pieces that are vacant to the eye. Had enough of February skies. Beautiful is this wasteland. The shadows bask in the sunrise. Comforting all these strangers. Yeah, it's gonna be alright. And then it just repeats the chorus. And again. And again. And that's the song. It's very repetitive. Pretty monotonous, very just dreary, I guess, as is the theme of A February Sky. They are pretty dreary, I have to admit. The general tone of this song is very, I don't know what the proper term to call it is. Is it alternative-ish? Is it grunge-ish? I don't listen to grunge, so I don't know if it actually qualifies as that, because that was the first word that came to mind, but I was like, really not into this. Maybe it's more alternative than grunge, but either way, I was just like, I'm not into this sound, I'm gonna be honest. But I know other people who this is ironically the only song on the EP that they like. They could throw away the other 3 tracks and just keep this one, and I'm like, I'll keep the other 3 and throw away this one, huh? But anyway, yeah, was not a fan of this first track, so on that one. So, I am replaying each of the songs right before filming my response to them, so this is cobbled together, that's why, but I want it fresh in my memory as I comment on each one. Okay, so the second track in here is Adeline, which initially, I'm gonna be honest, I initially wrote it off on first listen as being very simplistic, almost a little bit childish, kind of this, not quite the level of Yellow Submarine, but like, same vibe, same kind of vein, you know? Which is not necessarily a bad thing, but just, it's the vibe it gave off. So I didn't take it too seriously on first listen. It wasn't until later that day that I realized, this is kind of an earworm, okay? It's like kind of stuck in my head, let's go listen to it again. And I'm glad that I did, because when I went back to it, now they've been like, actually replaying in my head a bit, and now listening to it again, now it was like listening with new ears, actually. Because this time around, it's like, okay, actually, it's kind of poppy, alright, and simplistic though it may be, it's not bad. It's not bad. The more times I've listened to it, the more I've liked it. So, for whatever that's worth, maybe don't write this off right away, because there's something to be said for sometimes revisiting it after a little bit and seeing if you still feel the same way. Granted, I did give the other EPs that kind of a shot. didn't work out well for them. But this one, I'm glad that I did that, because, yeah, now I actually like this one so much, and the more I thought about it, I was like, I think I can pick out what chords that whole song is just listening to it. I think it's like F, G, C, F, and it's like, okay, I think I know what this is. I could probably play that even. So then I pulled up the lyrics and looked at them, and really just looked at the lyrics as if it were poetry, which I try to do anyway. Alright, again, while simplistic, they're still effective in being lyrically about living in the moment. Don't worry about the past, don't worry about tomorrow, just worry about right now. It's not the only Ringo song that's like that, but I do tend to like Ringo songs that have that kind of a message to them. So maybe I just needed more time to think about it and let the words sink in and really hit me before I fully embraced it, you know? Because now I love it. One thing I will say about it, though, unlike the other EPs, and I think this is true of the entire EP this time, but unlike the other ones he's released before, he does not abuse the auto-tune this time. He's been listening! Oh my god! Thank you! Thank you for actually kicking that shit to the curb, because I'm sorry, it's not cute when he does the auto-tune shit. Yeah, you can hear a little bit of age in his voice around the edges. I think on all 4 of the tracks you can hear it here and there, but it's not enough to where it, like, puts any kind of damper on the song. I don't think it detracts in any way. It's just a reflection of where he is in his life now. He's gonna be 84 in, like, a month, okay? Cut him some slack. He still sounds a great deal better than Paul does at this point in time. Just saying. Just saying. So, you know, a little creak here and there. Big whoop! He still sounds like Ringo at the end of the day, and he still performs and still sings like Ringo. So, no hate, no shade. I would much rather take hearing the reality of just little age here and there than the auto-tune shit. I hate the auto-tune shit, and I am not alone in that. So, I am so glad that maybe somebody has had their ear to the ground with what the fans have been saying about the EPs so far. Because, oh my god, he finally listened and actually tried it the other way, and man, I am so happy he did, because it sounds so much better and so much more authentic, and I feel it adds to the song. It doesn't take away from it, it adds to it by being that realistic and that raw, you know? Maybe it's just me, but I would much rather take it as it is, instead of trying to buff it up in a way that isn't real, because eventually he's gonna tour, and while he may not do his EP songs because he feels like no one wants to hear them, he may not do those, but we know what his voice sounds like on the road, so I would much rather his current music reflect that than trying to do studio wizardry and sounding like one guy over here, and then you see him in person and sounds like not even the same person. Mickey Dolenz, I am looking at you. Anyway, full shade. Anyway, but yeah, I actually do like this one a lot now, and I'm so glad that I went back to it instead of just dismissing it. I really hoped that February Sky would grow on me the way that this one did, but it just hasn't. So, alright, fine. Lost cause on that one. But this one, I am all in on now. Okay, so the third track is Gonna Need Someone, and from the moment that I watched this video, I was spamming this thing everywhere as not only the first great Ringo song in I don't know how many years that I've heard, but first great Ringo video as well in just as many years. I mean, this, honestly, to me, it has the same energy as like the Mark Hudson years, which for me personally were my favorite in Ringo's career. Like, I still mourn the fact that they had that falling out and they don't work together anymore, because they were such a great songwriting team. I loved the work they did together. And this has a very similar energy. Obviously not identical because it's not Mark, but it's close. Like, it feels very similar. It's got a lot of that, like, pop rocky kind of frenetic energy that's very upbeat, up-tempo, and just, you know, it fills you with joy the second you hear it. It's very memorable, unlike so many of the other EPs and things that have been in recent years. I'm just like, This is proof he can still do the thing. He can totally still do it if he wants to, and I am so hopeful that this is a sign of things to come, that there will be more like this. Because this right here, this is what we want more of, right here. This is my absolute hands-down favorite, not just from this EP, but probably from, like, this decade. Like, the past decade, not just of the 2020s, but, like, past 10 years, maybe past 15. It's been a long time since something of his that was new filled me with this much joy. And every time I've gone back to it, it has not faded at all. I love the juxtaposition of both the old vintage clips of him throughout his life as well as the current ones. I love the ending where he takes off and he turns into a bird at the end. Just all of it. Oh my god. Like the best, just everything with this. It's so good. And if you have not seen this video, do yourself a favor, pause this one. Go watch that right now. I don't even care if you come back to this one. Just go watch that one because it's so good. And I'm pretty sure you'll thank me later. Okay, so the last song on the album, or not the album, I'm sorry, the EP, I keep doing that, is the title track, Crooked Boy, which this is like the obligatory autobiographical song. He's always got to have one, and I'm not mad at that. I know some people are, like, annoyed by it. I like it when he does them, personally. And this one, like, fully, like, references, like, when he went into a coma as a little kid and everything, references the teddy boy years, like, all of it. It's all in there. But what got me more with the video? He finally made use of his MS Paint art in a way where I'm like, actually? This works! This works for this. But, like, the song itself, like, on its own, like, it's pretty simplistic. It's very Ringo-y. Like, if you've listened to a lot of his career, you know exactly what I mean by that. That is not a diss. It's just, if you know exactly what I'm talking about here. So, I don't mind it at all. I think it's kind of cute, actually, that he referenced his life like that in this, because you get bits and pieces throughout different songs throughout his career, and like you add them all up, you basically get the whole story in a roundabout kind of way. So I like when he does them, personally. So I don't know, I like it. Most of this EP I like. I think I give it a 7.5 out of 10. If it weren't for that first track, I would probably have actually given it the 10 out of 10. But that one song, because there's only 4 songs, it brings down the score immensely. But still, I really like this one, and out of the EPs, this is the first one I've actually felt very, very strongly about, in a good way. So, good on you, Ringo. You did a really good job with this one. I hope to see more of this kind of stuff with any further EPs he chooses to do, or albums, either or. Apparently he's toying with the idea of doing albums again, which, okay, here for it. So anyway, that is it for this one. Those are my thoughts. I know I'm a little slow on getting this posted, but here we are. It's better late than never. So anyway, that is it. So as usual, you know what to do. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like. If you're not already and you'd like to be, click subscribe, hit that notification bell icon so you never miss an upload, leave comments down below. Make sure you're following my social media accounts, my Facebook fan page, my Twitter, my Instagram, my eBay, my Reddits, everything and more. It's all down below. And if you like what I do here on this channel and you'd like to help support it, the donation link, as always, is down in the description. Anyway, guys, till next time, see ya.